So I've always been a guy to just roll with the punches, roll with what life has to give me. If I make a mistake, if I mess up, if something happens, obviously I learn from those mistakes. I grow and I become a better person from those mistakes. But man, nothing has tested me as hard as when my RV motorhome's engine blew up in the middle of Colorado.
Along with me and the butterflies and bees, we can wander through the forest and do so as we please.
So to tell this story right, we have to start from before I moved to Colorado, because I was living in the Arizona, Southern California, New Mexico deserts for close to 6 months. I really started this journey. I think this was when I first began RV life for good. Like I was like, I'm out. I'm not coming back for a while. I have some money saved up, some jobs lined up. I am, stocked up. I'm ready to go, organized. I am ready to hit the road and see what the world has to offer. So I was ready. But obviously through the winter, those northern states that I really wanted to travel to. So some of the states I really wanted to travel to: Washington, Idaho, Montana, Colorado was a huge one. Obviously Utah, but all these states during the winter are very cold. Sometimes too messy, let's say, with snow to even travel. And when you live in a van or an RV, or your house is, able to move around, why would you not chase the sunshine? You know what I mean? Why would you go to those horrible living places you couldn't go out and hike around? Like you are able to. It's almost like a written law somewhere for van life and RV lifers to chase the sunshine because they're able to. So a lot of the time during the winters, people travel to Arizona, the deserts out, Mojave Desert, Sonoran Desert, the Great Basin Desert, places out in, New Mexico, Arizona, Southern California, where you can really hike around, get those perfect days. The nights aren't too cold or anything. And so that's what I did. I just kind of bummed around BLM, national parks, national forest lands, just places I could camp for free, because I could do it and I could stay however long I wanted. In a campground, it's like $30 a night. Like, why would you stay there? And you can only stay for a couple nights and you're out for $150, whatever it is. So sometimes I would stay out in the middle of the desert for like 2 weeks. Sometimes I found a spot I really like. Like there are oases out in Arizona, New Mexico desert. And it's kind of interesting because when you drive through these deserts, you really don't see that much. Why is New Mexico called the land of enchantment? You're like, what the fuck? This is definitely not enchanted at all. But when you really spend time there, and I'm saying spend a whole winter there, spend 6 months, half a year there, you will find, holy shit, this is enchanted. This is a beautiful place. There are oases, and they're not like palm tree waterfalls, like lush green oases, but they are damn beautiful, to tell you the least. So I was really able to, spend time out in the desert, really understand the desert, really come to terms with, wow, like it changed my mind. I could live in the desert. I could buy a house, settle down out in the desert now. But I got tired of it, there's only so many cactuses and rocks and flat lands you can look at before you're like, man, I need some trees and some ferns. I love ferns. I love waterfalls. I need some trees, some ferns and waterfalls in my life. And so that last kind of like April, March-ish, I was March, April-ish, I was checking the forecast every single day. I was like, as soon as those roads clear, as soon as I am ready to go up to Colorado, I'm beaming my way up there, because I was getting tired of just living in the desert, living out in these like flat lands. I needed a change of scenery. And that's kind of like a big thing for RV van life. People need a change of scenery. And it's something that's super cool because you can. Like, it's not like you live in Arizona, your whole life and you're like, man, I'm just kind of bored of it. But you have to sell your house. You have to do all this stuff. So I was looking every single day. And once I finally saw that the roads are cleared up, like there's still snow up there. Obviously, there's the snow doesn't just disappear one night, but the roads were travelable. So I was like, I'm going, I'm doing it. And mind you not, this is I'm down like like 1,000 feet or so. And to go up to, my plan was Denver. I have family there. I was going to stay with them for a little bit. Maybe get like a little job during the summer up in Denver and just kind of live around Colorado. That was the plan from Arizona. So I was like going to Whole Foods, and man, I forget the city. It's like right above Sonora. Sonora. It's right above Sedona. And I was going to Whole Foods every day, just like checking out jobs out there, like contacting my friends and family that lived in Denver. And I was like, man, it's going to be awesome. Like, I'm so excited. Let's do this. And it wasn't till I finally left. So I stopped in Four Corners on my way up. I, checked out the scenes that I really have not been to. I've like traveled a lot around the United States, around national parks. I've been to a lot of different places, but I hadn't really stopped on my own terms, because I do like to just sit and take in the land, take in the scenery, and really just see what it's like. If I was a local here, what would it be like to live around here? And every stop I stopped at, every pine tree that started to come into view, every mountaintop that I reached over and, had my perspective, a 180 perspective of the world, it seemed like I was on top of the world, baby. Every time that happened, this feeling inside of me, these emotions were coming out. I was feeling like solid gold on fire. I was feeling, ready to conquer whatever adventure came my way, because I had been living in the desert, looking at the same thing for the last 6 months. And although it was like, man, I can't wait to get back to the desert, I was so excited for what was to come. Now, keep in mind, like I said before, I'm going from 1,000, 1,500 feet to the Mile High City, baby. 5,000 feet, 6,000 feet in places. Sometimes I had to cross the Rocky Mountains, which, gets up 7,000, 8,000 feet. So I am pushing this 1991 Toyota Winnebago harder than it's ever been pushed. I don't have not a thermos, like a temperature gauge on my engine. All these things started adding up as I was going in. It's like, oh man, you're pushing it a little bit. Like, where'd that clicking sound come from? Oh, it took a little bit for that engine to, turn over right there. And it was once I got to Durango, Colorado, beautiful place. I stopped to have lunch and just watch this clip right here that I found of my stop in Durango. So I stopped at this little park. I'm in Durango, Colorado, but we're just going to sit and enjoy some lunch right now and enjoy this sun, enjoy the outdoors and from driving so much. So I'm so happy. When I say I was on top of the world, elated, blissed out of my mind, the happiest I've ever been, it was finally worth it. Like, everything I had been working for, everything that I had been planning and executing and saving up for, and the desert is amazing. I've traveled there a lot and I've been there a lot, and like I said, I spent those 6 months there. But this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to spend time in the forest. I wanted to look for waterfalls. I wanted to climb mountains and climb over rocks and, swim in rivers. And I wanted to live that Colorado rugged mountain forest lifestyle. That's who I am. That's what I believe. And I was finally there. Durango was the tipping point. I was so full of like that melted fire gold, like I was talking about earlier. It tipped, and just thinking about it now, I was so happy. And I came back from my lunch sitting on that river, and I got in the RV and I cleaned it up one last time. I swept it out. I wiped the counters down. I put everything away. I put everything on the bed that needed to be, stored away. I got in the passenger seat. I think I recorded like an Instagram story, and I was just like, Denver, here we come. I am so excited to see you. I'm so excited to travel around here. Here we come. I turn that engine on and it goes click, 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 click. Turn it off. What was that? Turn it on. Boom, boom. Starts right up. Okay. What was that? Why did it click? I couldn't tell you. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know. Okay. Make a mental note of it. Move on. When I get to Denver, have it checked out. You know, I got a little bit of money saved up. We'll make this work. So I start driving up to Denver. 20 minutes later, click, 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 click. It gets louder and faster. I think this thing is going to explode. And then pop. It does explode. My engine broke down. As you can see, on the ground here. There's like this loud clicking and then a pop. And then it just started leaking and then my engine shut down. I'm coming down this hill when it finally pops. And it dawns on me. This is not a fixable thing in this moment. Pull over. The engine just shuts down. Everything shuts down. But luckily, I'm still in drive. Like it's still like a neutral type of thing. It's definitely slowing down from the 70, 65 miles I was going. It's slowing down dramatically. But luckily, at the bottom of the hill, there's a turnout spot. I turn out, pull the keys out, get away from the engine. I go look, and there's just liquid drenching the ground. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what to do. My life was flipped upside down right here. Like my home was broken. Like a motorhome is a home. A motorhome has everything you need, but without the engine to move it around, it's kind of worthless. Unless it's a trailer, unless it's, a newer version of something where someone could like, oh, I could see myself living in here, just on like some property. No, it's a 91 Toyota Winnebago. There is no way that, anyone is wanting this. Anyone is like wanting to pick this up, buy it, whatever it may be. My home was gone. And I've never felt that way before. I've never had something ripped out from under me. And I didn't know what to do about it. So what did I do about it? Well, called around. I called my insurance company. I called towing companies. I called my mother. I am like, I think I was 1,200 miles away from home. It's not I'll come pick you up kind of scenario. That is, you're on your own and you're going to figure it out. And my mom helped a bit, but she made it very clear from the start, you need to figure this out on your own. This is your thing. I will be there for support, but I'm not going to do it for you. And I knew at that moment that I don't want to say I was alone, but I knew at that moment that I had to stand up for myself. And so I was back and forth on the insurance companies. Between calls, I'm bawling my eyes out because I don't know what's going to happen to my future. Have you ever been so happy, like so elated, so just blissed out, joyful, the happiest you've ever been? And then it instantly, like a flip, like a flip of a switch, it instantly goes from you're more morbidly depressed. All right, well, this video turned around real fast. It's gonna go from my amazing adventure from Flagstaff to Denver to my car broke down, and here's where I go from there. Like everything is gone from you. That's how I was feeling during those calls, during those, during those calls. So it's like, okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, appreciate it. Like, let me know what you see. Like, and a lot of it was waiting around for like people to call each other. Like insurance companies were calling tow trucks. These people were calling these people. Everyone was kind of waiting back for like a solid answer because no one wanted to take in a 91 broken down motorhome to just sit in their yard until they could figure out how to fix it. So luckily, did find a tow truck that sent me to Pagosa Springs. If update on my engine, update on whatever's going on here. I'm getting towed to Pagosa Springs where they will be holding my RV for about a week. And then after that, next Friday, so it's Thursday today, next Friday is when they can actually start looking on the RV. So, they don't even know, like I said, it might be a way bigger problem than it seems. You have been following my journey and you followed the RV life. I spent a lot of time in Pagosa Springs, and we'll get to that point. We'll get to those stories because that was a very interesting time in my life. But finally found a tow truck. They came out, towed the RV back to Pagosa Springs. I got a hotel room for 1 week, and I'm going to end the story there because we're at a good amount of time. There's going to be a part 2 on this story. What did I do next? Because when everything is ripped out from under you, when your whole life that you've been working for the past 2-3 years, saving up for, building, creating, when all of that is at a possibility of being torn down in front of you within minutes, within days, what I did next was something I will hold dear to my heart, a learning process that I will always remember. Thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Philip Micha. I run For Earth. It is a pleasure having you. Take care. Thanks for listening. And stay tuned for part 2. We're going to get right into more stories. This is the For Earth Chronicles. For Earth, baby. Love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.